Hey everyone, my name is Cade, and today on the Leaderboard, we are going to be telling you all about one of my favorite arcade games of all time, Pac-Man. Here's 107 facts about Pac-Man you need to know. Number 1. Pac-Man is an arcade game developed by Namco and first released in Japan on May 22nd, 1980. Number 2. It was created by Japanese video game designer Toru Iwatani. Number 3. Iwatani started work at Namco in 1977 at the age of 22 and initially had no particular interest in designing video games. In fact, he had no training as a designer or programmer.
You're not
Number 4. Development started in April of 1979 and took about 1 year to make. Number 5. Pac-Man was developed with just a 9-man team. Now that's incredible. Number 6. It was licensed for distribution in the US by Midway Games and released in the US just 5 months after Japan. Number 7. As you may have guessed already, the game of Pac-Man was based on the concept of eating. Because if you're gonna base a game on something, why not base it on that? Duh. Number 8. The original Japanese title was Pac-Man, which was inspired by the Japanese phrase Paku Paku Tabaru, which roughly translates to eating with gusto. Paku Paku describes the sound of the mouth movement when widely opened and then closed in repetition. Waka waka. Number 9. According to Iwatani, the concept of eating to gain power was borrowed from Popeye. I am what I am. Number 10. Pac-Man the character has appeared in more than 30 officially licensed game spin-offs, as well as in numerous unauthorized bootlegs and clones.
Say what?
Number 11. The arcade title was first released as Pac-Man. However, the closeness to a certain explicit 4-letter English word a lot of arcade operators at the time were worried that vandals would alter the letter P to an F. Eventually, Pac was suggested as an alternate name, and the rest is history. Number 12. The first ever Pac-Man machine was installed in a Tokyo movie theater on the 22nd of May, 1980. The game was popular with women and the very young, just as hoped, but seasoned gamers, more used to the intensity of shooting games, were initially uninterested. Number 13. From March to September 2012, Pac-Man was part of the Art of Video Games exhibition at the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C. Number 14. If you manage to get 10,000 points, you are automatically rewarded a bonus life. Now, what do I have to do in regular life to make that happen? Number 15. However, DIP switches inside the machine can be used to change the required points or disable the bonus life altogether, which means the arcade had the ultimate control of your bonus lives. Hope you played at a good one. Number 16. 99% of the time, if Pac-Man occupies the same tile as an enemy, he is considered to have collided with that ghost and a life is lost. However, the other 1% of the time, that doesn't happen. Number 17. Pac-Man was designed as a response to shooting games like Space Invaders. Iwatani said in 1986, all the computer games available at the time were of the violent type, like War Games and Space Invaders. Number 18. The point of the Pac-Man game was to attract girls. The reason I created Pac-Man was because he wanted to attract female gamers. Iwatani said at a panel during 2011, back then there were no home games. People had to go to the arcade center to play games. That was a playground for boys. It was dirty and smelly, so we wanted to include female players, so it would become cleaner and brighter. Number 19. Iwatani said that he chose a theme which girls wouldn't be able to resist, eating candies, because girls love to eat desserts. Number 20. Many have thought that Pac-Man's shape was influenced by pizza, but that's only half the story. It is said that Iwatani, while eating a pizza, looked down at the pie with a missing slice and used the outline as inspiration for Pac-Man's distinctive shape. The story was furthered by Iwatani himself when Pac-Man fever was at its height, even posed with a half-eaten pizza for a publicity photograph. But in a 1986 interview, Iwatani admitted that the legend was only half true, stating that in Japanese, the character for mouth is a square shape, not circular like the pizza, and ultimately decided to round it out. Thus, Pac-Man was born. Number 21. Although the large pills in the maze corners are often called power pellets, they are officially named energizers. Power pellet was coined for the later television cartoon. Number 22. In the original design for the game, the pellets were actually cookies. That's what I'm talking about. Number 23. Shigeru Miyamoto, the creator of Mario, has stated that Pac-Man is his favorite video game character. Number 24. Pac-Man's ghosts were inspired by comic book characters including Casper and a popular Japanese manga called Obaki no Gyutaro. Obaki coincidentally enjoyed stealing food. Number 25. The term ghosts originates from the failed Atari 2600 port. Technical limitations caused the enemies to flicker, and the game's manual dubbed them Ghost, so as to cover up the flaw. Number 26. Despite obvious flaws in the port, Pac-Man went on to sell 7 million units at $37.95 per copy, becoming the best-selling video game of all time on the Atari 2600 console. Number 27. Atari had overestimated demand by producing 12 million cartridges. Number 28. Atari's damaged reputation from the port, the over-manufacturing of the cartridges, combined with the E.T. the extraterrestrial video game flop, would be the main factors to Atari's decline and the North American video game crash of 1983. Number 29. Atari eventually crushed and dumped over 10 million unsold Pac-Man and E.T. cartridges in a landfill in Alamogordo, New Mexico. Number 30. Pac-Man was one of the first games to introduce cutscenes. Between the levels, there are occasional cartoon-like interludes where an enormous Pac-Man chases a terrified ghost across the screen. These were dubbed coffee breaks by the creator and are meant to entice the player to chomp their way to the next scene. Number 31. Development of the game took around 18 months, an unusually lengthy production for the era. Creating the ghost behavior was the greatest challenge. The creator himself admitted, "There's not much entertainment in a game of eating, so we decided to create enemies to inject a little excitement and tension." Number 32. Pac-Man became one of the most successful arcade machines of all time, yet its creator didn't get rich from it. Despite selling over 350,000 machines in less than 18 months, generating millions of dollars, and becoming an international phenomenon. Number 33. If every dot, power pellet, fruit, and enemy is consumed on each of the 255 levels, the maximum possible score is 3,333,360 points. Number 34. The reason why 3,333,360 points was the highest attainable score is because starting at level 256, the game becomes so glitchy that the maze is only half visible, with the other half being a random mess of numbers, colors, and forces you out of the game, and it sounds like my house, to be honest. Number 35. No one was able to attain a perfect score until 19 years after it was first released. Number 36. A man named Billy Mitchell played for 6 hours straight in order to beat the game on July 3rd, 1999. Number 37. Only 5 others have managed to achieve a perfect score: Rick Fothergill, Chris Ira, Tim Balderramos, Donald Hayes, and David Race. Number 38. In 1999, Billy Mitchell offered $100,000 to anyone who could pass through the glitched split-screen level before January 1st, 2000. The prize was never claimed. We're going to take a quick break from the facts to remind you that Leaderboard is here to help you master your video game. That's right, so subscribe for weekly video drops, including weekly videos on 107 facts about your favorite games. Let's get back to the facts. Number 39. According to Twin Galaxies, the fastest completion of the 255th level is held by David Race, who completed the level in 3 hours, 28 minutes, and 49 seconds. He has uploaded a recording of his record-breaking game to YouTube, which you can see in the description below. Number 40. A Pac-Man amiibo figurine was released by Nintendo on May 29th, 2015. Number 41. For Pac-Man's 30th birthday, back in 2010, from May 21st to 23rd, Google celebrated by placing its first ever playable doodle version of the game on its homepage. Number 42. According to a report issued by a time management company, the game's brief appearance as the Google Doodle managed to rob the world of around 4.8 million working hours. This equates to $122 million in lost productivity. Don't worry, procrastinators, the search engine's anniversary version of Pac-Man can still be played today. Link to that is in the description below. Number 43. Google Maps also offers you a way to play on real-life virtual streets. On April Fool's Day 2015, Google introduced a small Pac-Man icon to Google Maps. Once you clicked it, the map of the street you were looking at instantly turned into a playable Pac-Man maze. Number 44. Within 15 months of its US release, Namco Bandai sold more than 100,000 arcade units, and fans spent more than $1 billion in quarters to spark the pop culture phenomena. Number 45. Each of the 4 ghosts in the game has both Japanese and English names. In Japan, they started as Fickle, Chaser, Ambusher, and Stupid. Their English names are Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde. Number 46. Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde were each created with their own distinct personalities so that the game would never get boring, yet would have behaviors that players could learn. Number 47. Blinky, the red ghost in Japanese, was Oikake, which means chaser. This ghost would doggedly pursue you throughout the game. Blinky was programmed to always aim his movements to the tile where Pac-Man was on. Number 48. Pinky, the pink ghost, was originally Machibus in Japanese, translating to ambusher. She was programmed to always place herself 32 pixels or 2 tiles in front of Pac-Man and essentially trap him in an ambush attack between herself and another ghost. I'm gonna be honest, Pinky is the ghost that kills me the most. Number 49, the blue ghost Inky's Japanese name was Kimagure, meaning fickle. This blue ghost behavior is somewhat tricky, but easy to get the hang of once you understand his pattern. You see, he was programmed to move in relation to both Pac-Man and Blinky. If you could draw a straight line between those two characters, Inky's target would be to move 2 tiles in front of Pac-Man after this imaginary line. That seems pretty complicated.
Inconceivable!
Number 50, Clyde the Orange Ghost was Otoboke, or feigning ignorance. Clyde was seen as the lazy and random. Usually he hangs out at the bottom left of the maze, circling around that area, only moving similar to how Inky does when Pac-Man dares to venture at least 8 tiles within his range. Number 51, a careful analysis of the game's code reveals that Clyde actually chases Pac-Man most of the time, but also moves toward the lower left corner of the maze when it gets too close to Pac-Man. Number 52, the Ghost's official US names are Shadow, Speedy, Bashful, and Pokey. Number 53, the Namco president at the time pressured Iwatani to make all the ghosts a single color in order to prevent gamers from being confused if some of the ghosts were allies or enemies. Number 54, across all of the Pac-Man media, there are more ghosts than the original 4. 31 more to be exact. Number 55, Pac-Man was designed to be yellow because yellow seems like a peaceful and neutral color. Number 56, due to the game's wild success, Pac-Man became an economic term. When a company that is about to be acquired instead takes over the hostile company that was attempting to acquire it, it's called the Pac-Man defense. Number 57. In 2005, Pac-Man received the Guinness World Records Award for being the most successful coin-operated game. Number 58. The 2010 edition of the Guinness World Records Gamers Edition named Pac-Man the most recognized video game character. 94% of Americans recognize Pac-Man. 59. Pac-Man is also one of the most tattooed characters. Number 60. Pac-Man was almost a reality show. In 2011, Merv Griffin Entertainment tried to adapt Pac-Man as a reality series. The show was envisioned as a big, crazy wipeout type event with a lot of energy. The producers couldn't find enough network support for the concept, though. Number 61. Pac-Man was a YouTube viral sensation long before video games on YouTube was cool. In 2009, French prankster Remy Gallard dressed himself in a full-size Pac-Man costume, then had his friends, dressed as ghosts, chase him through a supermarket, golf course, and other various locations. The clip has been viewed more than 50 million times. I'm a big fan of Remy. I think he does great work. Check out more of his other stuff. Number 62. Pac-Man was the main mascot for the children's play area, Pac-Man Land, which came out in 1983 in Six Flags Over Texas. It was later changed to Looney Tunes Land in 1985. Fun fact, I've actually been there. Number 63. The most well-known of the many sequels Pac-Man inspired was Miss Pac-Man, which extended Iwatani's goal of bringing girls to the arcade in a big way. Number 64. Miss Pac-Man was the first playable female character in any game, paving the way for characters like Lara Croft. By the way, you can check out our 107 facts about Tomb Raider right here. But not until you finish our Pac-Man video, so let's keep moving. Number 65. The original 1980 Pac-Man game was only 24 kilobytes, about the size of an average image of Pac-Man on the internet today. Number 66. Pac-Man was supposed to have a roving shelter in the game, a moving house that could trap or squash the ghosts in its path, but the idea was scrapped due to size limitations. Number 67. Pac-Man can still hide from the ghosts on the rightmost side of the T-like wall on the top of the screen. However, you have to get there from the bottom of the screen though without any of the ghosts seeing you. Once there, you'll find that none of the 4 ghosts will ever attempt to go near you. I'm gonna have to try that myself. That seems a little tricky. Number 68. Pac-Man is a favorite project for young coding students. Much like Pong and Space Invaders, the simplicity of the game and gameplay makes it a perfect avenue to help kids learn to code. Number 69. Under a National Science Foundation funded project, the Computer Science Department at UC Berkeley has developed a custom version of the Pac-Man in Python to teach students basic artificial intelligence concepts. This included informed state space search, probabilistic inference, and reinforcement learning. Number 70. Pac-Man was the first video game character to feature power-ups. This influence spread to later games such as Arkanoid and even Mario. Number 71. Pac-Man is also credited for laying the foundations for the stealth game genre, as it emphasized avoiding enemies rather than fighting them. This is notable in the early Metal Gear games, where guards chase Solid Snake in a similar manner to Pac-Man when he is spotted. Number 72. Famed game designer John Romero credited Pac-Man as the game that had the biggest influence on his career. Wolfenstein 3D was similar in level design and featured a Pac-Man level from a first-person perspective, while Doom had a similar emphasis on mazes, power-ups, and reaching the next level. Number 73. At the 2015 Super Bowl, Bud Light created a life-sized Pac-Man maze complete with ghosts to chase around contestants for their ad titled Coin. I would have loved to participate in that, by the way. Number 74. In 2004, a group of students came up with the idea to turn Greenwich Village in NYC into a real-life Pac-Man game. Using their cell phones to track each other's positions, one of them dressed up all in yellow while his friends chased him around the city as the ghost. Their larger-than-life game was appropriately called Pac-Manhattan. Number 75. In January 2013, Pac-Man and Blinky appeared on the top of MIT's Great Dome as part of the traditional hack or prank used to demonstrate the technical aptitude and cleverness of the students. Number 76. There are 240 small dots on the screen in each level of the game, each of which is worth 10 points each. The 4 larger power cookies, or power pellets, are worth 50 points each. Number 77. In the original 1982 Tron movie starring Jeff Bridges, Pac-Man makes a cameo appearance. Of course he does. Number 78. There is a Pac-Man restaurant in Chicago called Level 257. The 40,000 square foot eatery is located in Woodfield Mall and boasts of cocktails named 1-Up, Game Over, and of course, Midway. Number 79. Filipino boxer Manny Pacquiao is named Pac-Man. His uncle and first trainer Sardo Mejia thought Man-Pac sounded awkward, so they swapped the first 2 syllables of his name, Man and Pac, ultimately calling him Pac-Man instead. Number 80. In 2011, the creator of Pac-Man expressed his interest to create a singing Pac-Man. He said, quote, "I'm thinking of the next version of Pac-Man, the next evolution. I'm thinking of a Pac-Man that's singing. I don't want to make it musical, really. I don't want to make it Chicago. Blues Brothers? Maybe." Number 81. Today, the Pac-Man brand includes over 400 products, including things like t-shirts, clothing, jewelry, bags, backpacks, toys, plushies, mugs, and kitchen gadgets. There's so many things that are Pac-Man themed out there. Can we get an oven mitt, anyone? Number 82. To increase the appeal towards Western audiences, the cabinet artwork was changed and the pace and level of difficulty increased. Number 83. Pac-Man sequels and spin-offs includes only one, which was designed by the original creator. He developed Pac-Man Championship Edition for the Xbox 360. Number 84. Not all of Pac-Man's follow-ups were developed by Namco, most notably Miss Pac-Man, which was released in the United States in 1981. Number 85. Originally called Crazy Otto, this unauthorized hack of Pac-Man was created by General Computer Corporation and was sold to Midway without Namco's permission. That is insane. Number 86. Many people, including myself, consider Miss Pac-Man to be superior to the original or even the best in the entire series. In the original Pac-Man, the fruits and objects just sit in the middle of the screen without moving. In Miss Pac-Man, they move around, which gives the player somewhat of a challenge to chase them down. Miss Pac-Man also contains 4 mazes instead of just 1. Number 87. Stan Jarocki of Midway stated that Miss Pac-Man was conceived in response to the original Pac-Man being the first commercial video game to involve large numbers of women as players, and that it is our way of thanking all those lady arcaders who have played and enjoyed Pac-Man. Number 88. Namco sued Midway for exceeding their license. Eventually, Bally Midway struck a deal with Namco to officially license Miss Pac-Man as a sequel. Namco today officially owns Miss Pac-Man in its other releases. Number 89. Following Miss Pac-Man, Bally Midway released several other unauthorized spin-offs, such as Pac-Man Plus, Junior Pac-Man, Baby Pac-Man, and Professor Pac-Man. This resulted in making Namco very unhappy and severing business relations with Midway. Number 90. On June 5th, 2007, the first Pac-Man World Championship was held in New York City. This brought together 10 competitors from 8 countries to play the new Pac-Man Championship Edition. Number 91. In April 2011, Soap Creative published the world's biggest Pac-Man, working together with Microsoft and Namco Bandai to celebrate Pac-Man's 30th anniversary. It is a multiplayer browser-based game with user-created interlocking mazes. Number 92. In 1982, Milton Bradley released a board game based on Pac-Man. I don't even know how to play that game because it looks so weird. Number 93. Sticker manufacturer Fleer included Pac-Man rub-off game cards with their Pac-Man stickers. Number 94. NELSONIC Industries produced a Pac-Man game LCD wristwatch. The watch followed the same rules as the original version with a simplified maze. Can someone please get started on a working version of Pac-Man for your Apple Watch? That would be so sick. Number 95, a pinball version of Mr. and Miss Pac-Man was designed by George Christian and released by BANDAI Midway in 1982. And it actually looks like a lot of fun. Number 96, Pac-Man along with Mega Man appear as guest characters in Street Fighter X for the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita. In battle, Pac-Man basically pilots a mech. Pac-Man does not have many lines, so little's known about his personality from this game. In the story though, he seeks Pandora's box, and in the ending, he opens the box, resulting in him growing incredibly large and devouring trees in a city. So typical of Pac-Man. Number 97, Pac-Man and Mega Man appear together again in Nintendo's Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U and 3DS. Number 98, an animated TV series produced by Hanna-Barbera aired on ABC from 1982 to 1983. Number 99, Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures, also known as Pac-World, is a computer animated television series featuring Pac-Man, of course. The series first aired June 15, 2013 on Disney XD in the United States. Number 100, a video game based on the animated TV series was released on October 29, 2013. So you're telling me there's a TV show that's based on a video game, and then there's a video game based on that? Inception. Or should I say Pacception? Number 101, Clyde appears in the Disney animated film Wreck-It Ralph as one of several villains participating in a group therapy session, voiced by Kevin Dieters. His cohorts Inky, Blinky, and Pinky appear together in Game Central Station for a few scenes, and Pac-Man himself even makes a cameo appearance during the Fix-It Felix Jr. 30th anniversary party. Number 102, General Mills manufactured a cereal by the Pac-Man name in 1983. Over the cereal's lifespan, characters from sequels Super Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man were also added. Number 103, Weird Al recorded, though never ever released, a song titled Pac-Man that was a parody of the Beatles' Taxman back in 1981. Number 104, Pac-Man appears in the 2015 film Pixels, with Dennis Akiyama playing the series creator Toru Iwatani. Iwatani himself makes a cameo at the beginning of the film as an arcade technician. And that's pretty cool. Number 105, Pac-Man has been referenced in numerous other media. In music, there's the 1981 hit song Pac-Man Fever, which went on to be number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts, and even received a gold certification with over 1 million records sold by 1982. 106, and of course the hip-hop MC Little Flip sampled sounds from the game Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man to make his top 20 hit single Game Over back in 2004. Namco America actually filed a lawsuit against Little Flip for unauthorized use of these samples. The suit was eventually settled out of court. Number 107, the 3DS version of Super Smash Bros. Has a stage based around the original arcade game of Pac-Man called Pac-Maze. Thank you so much for watching 107 facts about Pac-Man, and if you want to master your classic video game with the leaderboard, head over to watch the 107 facts about Tetris. That's right, Tetris. And if you're a Nintendo fan, check out this brand new channel called Super Coin Crew. It's going to be super awesome, especially if you love Nintendo, so subscribe so you don't miss out, and subscribe to the leaderboard for weekly video drops. Thanks again for watching.